Okay, well here we are with question 1 of set 16, where the titration questions start to get a little bit more interesting. And the first one to me actually was quite interesting. It was the winemaker's question. And it says, prior to fermentation in winemaking, the acid content of the must, which is the grape juice, is tested and adjusted if required. Such an analysis was conducted by titrating the must with 20 mils of 1.50 times 10 to the minus 4 mole per litre of sodium hydroxide solution, using phenolphthalein as an indicator. So in other words, if you were to look at this, what would happen is you'd have your, you've got the unusual situation where there's your burette. Hang on, there we go. Let's do a comical flask. It's comical because that's what my drawing is like. And we've got for ourselves a little tap there. So what we've got going on here is we've got the sodium hydroxide in here and the must, which is up here. This strikes me as slightly odd way of doing it because the must will be sticky, messy, and it will really stuff up your glassware. But you know, that's how the question says it's doing. It's to be done, and so we will do it like that. Okay, they tell us that we have an average of 109 millilitres from the burette must be required for complete reaction. Assuming all acid present is present as the diprotic tartaric acid, calculate the concentration of the acid in the must. Oh wow, what a mess. We've got a few things here that were firstly confusing it. If we go back to our general strategy, firstly we like an equation. The second thing that we tend to like to do is we like to find the number of moles of known. That's our standard, you know, up here. Thirdly, from that we can find the number of moles of unknown. And then fourthly, finally, what we can do is find the concentration unknown. Okay, so now that we have a bit of an overview of what the experiment looks like, and a battle plan for tackling it, let's first work on our equation before moving on to our number of moles. Okay, here we are over at our equation. So first our equation, this is going to be difficult because we don't know the formula of tartaric acid. Have you memorized that? No, neither have I. It's not required to. We're told it's a diprotic acid, so what we're going to say, H2A, if we're a diprotic acid, will react with sodium hydroxide, Na. What did I just do there? Wake up, Harris. NaOH. And then, of course, what happens with an acid and a base? We make a salt. Nah, don't know the formula of that. But hey, wait on a second. It's a diprotic acid, so it's going to be Na2A plus H2O. Now, all of this word diprotic acid, remember we're using a generalized formula. Now we just have to balance it. We've got 2, 3. Oh, great tragedy. We've only got 2 over here. And we need 2 sodiums as well. So this one's going to be an easy one to fix. 2 hydroxides, okay, plus H2A is going to make 2 sodiums there. That's fixed, but still this is dismal, isn't it? We've got 2, 4. We've only got 2 there. To make 2, 4, we just balance it by sticking it up across the line. And there, I'm actually going to undo that because I need that space more, is your equation done nicely. Okay, won't flick over to check it. Go back to our battle plan. See what we've done. Oh yes, got to make it visible. So we've got ourselves an equation, and it's an equation that works. Now we need to find our mole of standard. That's the 20 mil here, and the half of the 1.5 times 10 to the minus 4 mole of sodium hydroxide. I have my doubts about that, but we will continue. I'll explain why at the end of the explanation, why I think this is dodgy. Anyway, so we go for our... Oh, I clicked that thing. Doesn't like me, this thing. So we go to our view at the moment. We're interested in the number of moles of NaOH is going to be equal to 1.54 is equal to C times V, which is going to be equal to 1.54 times 10 to the minus 4 times what is it? It's going to be 0.020 litres. Remembering, of course, even if they give it to you in millilitres, you've got to put it into litres for our C times V formula to work. If we do this and we crunch it out through our calculator, we end up with something like 3.6 times 10 to the minus 6 moles of NaOH. All well and good. Now the next part of our step, the next step in our process for question domination, first step to world domination, let's dominate the question first, is to take what we know about sodium hydroxide and use it to tell us the number of moles of tartaric acid. This horrible thing for which we don't have a formula. Okay, equals. What do? We do our standard and our reference thing. So our target is we use target, stoic, on reference, stoic, times reference. You don't have to write this out. This is just me explaining this. I am the only person I know who used target and reference. But I try to do it because I've noticed in the past that students have a lot of difficulty thinking about this formally, and they sort of just grind away until they accidentally get it right. So this was my solution. If you can stick a name to it, maybe it's a bit easier to understand. So what we're going to say is our target stoic, this is our target, and you'll notice that there's a 1 there to a 2 there, is 1/2 of the amount that we've calculated for our sodium hydroxide. And that should give us, what is it, equals 2.7, I'm going to run out of space here, 2.75 times 10 to the minus 5 moles. Okay, 10 to the minus mole per litre acid equivalence. So now we go to finally calculate our concentration of tartaric, which is equal to 2.75 times 10 to the minus 5 divided by, sorry, let me go back, getting ahead of myself. C equals N, number of moles on V, which is equal to 2.75 times 10 to the minus 4, no, minus 5, sorry, divided by 0.109. Okay, and that will give you a number of 1.3761 times 10 to the minus 5 mole per litre. We look at our question. We are given to 3 significant figures on all of our numbers up here. So our answer must be 3 significant figures. This is going to be equal to 1.38 times 10 to the minus 5 mole per litre, minus 1. And just to make it easy for our examiner so that they feel kindly upon us at midnight when they're marking our test and want to give us lots of good marks, we underlie it so that it's easy to see. Okay, I hope this is of some interest to you, and I hope this was on some help. I'm now going to deal with the question why I think this is somewhat, this is simply, in my opinion, a question that is designed to torture you. Number one, why I don't think they'd do that is it would make the glassware filthy and the titration inaccurate. You're putting a dirty mixture of grape juice into your burette. So that's one reason. I don't think they would do that exactly like this out in industry. Second reason, they're using phenolphthalein. And they're putting a huge volume of must into it. So the problem that I would have with that is that your must is usually coloured slightly. Even in a white wine, it's a sort of pea yellow kind of colour. And in a red wine, it's very red. You wouldn't see the indicator change enormously for there. So I reckon when you're putting such a big volume into such a small volume like this, you'd lose the change of your indicator. Because I smelt a rat with this question, I went and had a chat to my old mate Dr. Google, okay, and generally acidity in must equals 0.6%. Or 6g per litre, or if you're comparing it to tartaric acid, about 4.2 times 10 to the minus 2 moles per litre, or per moles a litre, don't do that one. So as a consequence, I reckon this is a cooked up question that some evil chemistry teacher has designed to torture you with keeping an eye on the significant figures and all of the steps and making sure that you've got it all together. And as such, I don't think they'd do this out in industry, but I think it's a very good example of this type of question, even if the numbers are slightly out, and I hope you have enjoyed the process. Cheers.